Across generations, nursery rhymes have played a crucial role in shaping childhood. But have you ever thought about the fascinating origins of these beloved rhymes? Beneath their whimsical tunes lies a rich history filled with surprising secrets. Take, for instance, Rockabye Baby. This haunting lullaby, depicting a baby in a precarious treefall, conceals a captivating backstory full of unexpected twists and turns. And the disturbing hidden agenda lurking behind its verses is sure to leave you astounded. Journey with me through the lush woodlands of England, gracing the opulent halls of royalty, navigating thrilling encounters with pirates, and immersing ourselves in every captivating moment as we unveil the concealed secrets of Rockabye Baby. Welcome back, Darklings. Before we embark on unraveling its origins, let's first reacquaint ourselves with the curious verses of this rhyme. Rockabye baby on the treetop. When the wind blows, the cradle will rock. When the bough breaks, the cradle will fall, and down will come baby, cradle and all. This nursery rhyme is rumoured to have first appeared in 1765 within the pages of Mother Goose's Melody, but regrettably, no initial editions of this publication have survived. Fortunately, we do possess a surviving second edition from 1791, and it closely mirrors the rendition familiar to us today. The only noteworthy distinction lies in the alteration of Rockabye Baby to Hushabye Baby. This is where the narrative of Rockabye Baby starts to take an intricate turn. The absence of the first edition leaves us in uncertainty. Did the rhyme appear in the first edition? And if it did it differ to this second edition version? The rhyme surfaces again in Gammer Gurton's Garland, published in 1784. This emerged roughly 2 decades after the first edition of Mother Goose's Melody, but notably preceded the second edition. Bee bore babby loo on a treetop. When the wind blows, the cradle will rock. When the wind ceases, the cradle will fall. Down comes baby and cradle and all. This publication also features a note stating the first line is a corrupted version of the French nurse's warning in a fable, and translates to, "Hush, there's the wolf." Jean de La Fontaine collected fables from a wide variety of sources and adapted them into French free verse. They were issued under the general title of Fables in several volumes from 1668 to 1694 and are considered classics of French literature. Within this anthology, the origins of the phrase "Bee bore babby loo" can be traced. The fable in question recounts the story of a persistently crying baby warned by the nurse to quiet down or risk being fed to the hungry wolf waiting outside. As the child becomes quiet, the wolf, who patiently anticipated an easy meal, overhears the nurse praising the child for good behaviour. She boldly declares that if the naughty wolf comes for her child, they'll beat him to death. Disappointed and hungry, the wolf retreats into the woods, muttering about the consequences of trusting those who say one thing and mean another. If this was the original wording of the rhyme, could it be that Rockabye Baby evolved from this fable? If such a connection exists, it implies that the rhyme is narrated from the perspective of a mother or nurse, using a threat to compel the child to hush or face repercussions. But ultimately the threat is empty, devoid of actual intent. The next time Rockabye Baby surfaces is in 1805 in Songs for the Nursery. Intriguingly, the rhyme's lyrics are different yet again. Rockabye baby, thy cradle is green, father's a nobleman, mother's a queen. This variation potentially reinforces the notion that the origins of the rhyme might be entwined with the turbulent events of the 17th century, suggesting a disturbing hidden agenda. But before delving deeper into this intriguing possibility, let's explore some other theories that aim to explain the origins of this peculiar rhyme. Renowned Egyptologist Gerald Massey sought to demonstrate the manner in which New Testament Christianity evolved directly out of ancient Egyptian mysteries in his work Ancient Egypt, The Light of the World, published in 1907. Notably, Massey's writings emphasized compelling parallels between Jesus and the Egyptian deity Horus. While Massey only mentions the rhyme briefly and doesn't provide specific evidence, he implies that the prevailing belief during his time was that Rockabye Baby was a reference to the infant Jesus. However, he contends that this notion evolved from Egyptian mythology, suggesting that the baby in the rhyme could ultimately symbolize Horus. Within the same chapter, Massey elaborates on the concept found in Egyptian mythology, where a sycamore tree, serving as the cradle of life, defines the boundary between the realms of the living and the afterlife. Over time, he believed this mythological emblem evolved into the iconic Tree of Knowledge in the Garden of Eden. The Egyptian sycamore symbolizes profound themes of life, death, and rebirth. It raises the intriguing possibility that the imagery of the baby's fall in the rhyme could serve as a representation of both Jesus's and, consequently, Horus's descent to earth followed by resurrection. Alternatively, the descending infant might depict the fall of man, a concept in Christianity signifying the initial transition of the first man and woman from a state of obedience to God to one of guilty disobedience, the loss of innocence visually represented by the falling child. The Tree of Jesse, a recurrent motif in Christian art, portrays the lineage of Jesus Christ, commonly appearing in medieval artworks. This symbolic tree consistently features an infant Jesus at the top. It is plausible, therefore, that these rich visual representations and religious concepts inspired the creation of the nursery rhyme. Another idea for the genesis of Rockabye Baby harks back to 17th century America, where an English immigrant observed how Native Americans cared for their infants. Descriptions sent back home to England detailed the use of cradleboards by these indigenous communities, suspending the infants from trees to be gently swayed by the breeze. In an era predating photographs, with only written accounts available, English minds might have inaccurately envisioned a baby in an English-style cradle nestled in a tree, prompting curious contemplation about how they avoided falling out and inspiring the rhyme. Some sources even suggest that Rockabye Baby was originally a Native American lullaby and eventually found its way into English culture through adoption and adaptation. Nestled within Shining Cliff Woods in Derbyshire, England, the remnants of a once majestic yew tree holds a local legend believed to have inspired the rhyme. The story unfolds with Betty Kenyon and her husband Luke, dedicated charcoal burners who lived in a movable hut beneath the towering tree. Raising 8 children, they ingeniously used a hollowed-out branch in the tree as a makeshift cradle while they worked. They chose this specific tree for a poignant reason. It served as the solemn resting place for their first infant, who tragically passed away just a few days after birth. Shining Cliff Woods was owned by the Hurt family, who held a fondness for the Kenyons. Francis Hurt went as far as commissioning James Ward, a Royal Academy artist, to immortalise the couple in portraits. Historical records confirm the Kenyons' profession as charcoal burners, placing their births around 1730. Yet, if the nursery rhyme indeed debuted in the first edition of Mother Goose's Melody in 1765, the timeline challenges the likelihood of the Kenyon story being the rhyme's origin. This intriguing theory only persists if the rhyme did not appear in the first edition, but emerged in subsequent years. The mystery lingers, leaving the truth tantalizingly just out of reach. An alternate theory suggests the rhyme's origin in 17th century maritime culture or pirate songs, potentially teasing a novice cabin boy assigned to the crow's nest, the ship's highest point. The term baby in the rhyme might originally have referred to a young, inexperienced crew member. The cradle symbolizes the ship's crow's nest, and the tree bough transforms into the boat's bow. Together, it paints a vivid image of a young sailor, apprehensive on his maiden voyage, while shipmates jest from below, warning him not to tumble from the crow's nest, and playfully suggesting he'd be the first to fall if the ship sank. This idea certainly resonates with the verses of the rhyme, but in the absence of concrete evidence, it remains purely speculative. To uncover any tangible evidence, we need to revisit the original publications. The rhyme in Mother Goose's Melody is accompanied by a poignant footnote. This may serve as a warning to the proud and ambitious who climb so high that they generally fall at last. This imparts a moral lesson, echoing the notion that pride comes before a fall, or how the mighty have fallen. The captivating link to the fable in Gamma Gurton's Garland, cautioning against placing trust in those who make empty promises, raises a thought-provoking question. Could the rhyme serve as a subtle form of political commentary? Intriguingly, a baby was at the centre of political upheaval and widespread public unrest during the 17th century, possibly holding the key to unravelling the origins of this rhyme. In the wake of Charles II's demise in 1685, the royal mantle descended upon his brother James II. Yet, James's earlier conversion to Roman Catholicism cast a shadow of controversy across the kingdom. Charles II, disapproving of James's religious transformation, issued a decree mandating the upbringing of James's daughters from his first wife in the Church of England faith. Despite the familial discord, James proceeded to deepen the controversy by marrying Mary of Modena, an Italian princess staunchly adhering to the Roman Catholic faith. This union added fuel to the existing religious turmoil, setting the stage for a reign fraught with conflict and challenges. As king, James encountered two rebellions upon ascending to the throne. Despite quelling both, he sought security by expanding his standing army, causing widespread concern among his subjects due to the unprecedented presence of a professional army in peacetime. More disquieting was James's use of his power to permit Catholics to lead regiments. James openly promoted Catholicism, allowing Catholics to hold high offices and engaging with Rome. With Catholics constituting a mere fraction of the population, his push for religious tolerance intensified public anxiety. Amidst the murmurs of discontent echoing through England, June of 1688 bore witness to a pivotal event that transformed simmering unrest into a full-fledged crisis. Within the hallowed halls of power, Queen Mary delivered a son, James Francis Edward. Up until this point, the only successors were James's Protestant daughters, so Anglicans viewed his pro-Catholic policies as temporary. But the birth of a Catholic heir changed everything. The possibility of a lasting Catholic dynasty sparked widespread fear. Influential Protestants even claimed the newborn prince was illegitimate, further escalating the tension. And this is said to be the hidden agenda of Rock-a-Bye Baby. It is suggested that the rhyme's origin lies within the taverns of that era, serving as a veiled expression of a desire for the demise of the newborn prince, a wish for the monarch and his lineage to fall, a whispered hope that the infant's death would prevent the establishment of Roman Catholic rule. An alternative interpretation suggests that the tree in the rhyme symbolises a family tree, with the branches breaking and the baby falling out representing the child's illegitimacy. This perspective gains resonance when considering the earlier nursery rhyme we examined, where the father is referred to as a mere nobleman rather than a king. It prompts a thought-provoking connection, hinting at hidden narratives within these rhymes that subtly convey tales of legitimacy and lineage. The arrival of this newborn set in motion a pivotal moment for England, prompting Protestant nobles to extend an invitation to William, Prince of Orange and son-in-law to James, to safeguard the Protestant faith. In a swift response, William arrived with an army just 5 months later. A significant turn of events unfolded as a considerable faction of James's own officers and army deserted to join forces with William. Faced with mounting opposition, James fled to France, symbolically casting the Great Seal of the realm into the River Thames. Parliament, interpreting James's actions as an effective abdication, declared his daughter Mary as the new monarch, elevating her husband William to the status of king. Perhaps then, the footnote from Mother Goose's melody, reminiscent of "How the mighty have fallen," is alluding to these events. But what do you think? Is Rock-a-Bye Baby rooted in the era of James II? Or could it be tied to the other possibilities we explored? Whether it's expressing religious undertones, a glimpse into Native American childcare practices, a nod to the Kenyan family of Shining Cliff Wood, or an echo of an old sea shanty? Which resonates with you? Or maybe you have your own ideas. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if your thirst for nursery rhyme origins still lingers, don't forget to subscribe and explore the rest of my channel. See you in a future video.